When they call, you'll see the call come in.
You understand? You done found a new breed of Hebrews that stand and walk with the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. And we don't care who we got to come up against. You ain't standing before this truth. You understand? We done took them all on and gonna continue to take them all on.
Deuteronomy 28:68.
Surrounded by Edomites, lost a lot of truth to this tree of life. Open up the book just to see them right. Reminiscing on my ancestors, on those ships who had to plead for life. Took us to a place where ain't never safe there. Poisoning our foods and put our children up in daycare. Fresh out of slavery, still thinking that they care. Guns in the community.
No, it's on the right there. That's good.
I am out. We'll go ahead.
To what?
Which one are you facing?
Yeah, you just turn it, right? Yeah, just turn it.
Yeah, you just turn it right there.
Alright, so
It's good though.
when he read,
You would just press fade 1200, and that's gonna switch me over to.
so they can't see him right now.
No, they can't see this right now.
Alright.
This is the. What's that?
Hey, Shalom, Israel. We are Isupk, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, coming out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We are under Commander General Yohana, you dig? You understand? If it's not under Commander General Yohana, it is not the truth. You understand? These fake Israelite groups, they're nothing more than Christian groups, you understand? Trying to do what they see us do. You understand? We are trained professionals, just like I say on the disclaimer. We are not affiliated with anyone out here. We're not affiliated with no other Israelite groups, no Christian churches, nothing. We stand alone with, and it's truth. And we've been bringing it out since 1969 that blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians are the true biblical Jews of the Bible, and our oppressor, the colonizer, the so-called white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of. You did. You understand? Man, we got a lot to cover tonight. You know, this is the biblical law class, a very important class, because the law has been used to oppress us. A lot of times, we don't like keeping the law. When we hear law, we turn our ear from it. You understand? But the law is actually meant to put us on top of these other nations. When we start keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High will give us authority over every nation on the face of this earth, you understand? So that's why it's important for us to come back and understand what the Most High requires of us in order to regain our spot back into the earth, you understand? You know, but before we start, I want to give a shout out to my main man, now Officer 50 Uriah Allah, you understand? Just came up, passed his test, you understand? He's now Officer 50 in the Isupk. You know, this brother has been working extremely diligent. I mean, just wanted to give him a shout out and stuff like that for the hard work and the diligence he didn't put in. You know, and when I think that when people hear us say, you know, Commander General Yohana that raised another officer or trooper up, you know, they make it seem like we serving a man. That's not what we're doing. You understand? Commander General Yohana was the man who held the ranks. You understand? He held the discipline required to raise a nation. You understand? And because he did what he did, he raised up men who raised up other men. And guess what? We here right now, we trying to raise up more men and women into this truth. You understand? And this is why we, you know, Commander General Yohana deserves all the respect as the leader of this nation on earth. You understand? You understand? Our king is Yahweh Jesus Christ in the English. You understand? But Yahweh is our kingdom. You know, Yahweh is the Most High. But here right now, your Commander General Yohana is the leader of Israel. You understand? So with that, you know, I want to go into you know, my topic today. The children of Israel, our enemies will not go unpunished. You understand? Like for far too often, we've looked at each other as enemies. We haven't shown each other the proper brotherhood. And when I say brotherhood, I'm encompassing our sisters too, or the sisterhood. You understand? We haven't shown each other any brotherhood. You know, in this kingdom that we're enslaved in. So therefore, when we say that our enemy is the so-called white man, people look at us like we're crazy. But if we say our enemy is a black man, people understand that. You understand? Tonight, we're going to find out who our enemy is according to the scriptures. Because a lot of people have opinions on things, but if you want to speak on something, don't be opinionated. Come directly from this Bible. Come directly from the scriptures. You understand? And see what God wants from his people. See what God requires. That's when it matters. The Christian church and our black leaders has failed us because they made things seem so sweet for us. They made things, you know, it's nothing but pure seduction what they've done to us. And because of that, we've gone far to the left. We don't keep no laws, no statutes and commandments, and that's why we're number one in every disease. We're number one in the prison system. We're number one when it comes to everything that we shouldn't be. But this is why the Most High set up the Isupk, and he brought his priests and prophets back into this earth, you understand, to teach his people. Like the scriptures say, warn my people of their sins, you understand? And this is what we're doing. We're teaching our people not to sin.
That's right.
We're teaching our people to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments because it is very important if you wanna consider yourself a follower of Yahweh or a follower of the Most High. You actually got to do what he said. You can't do what you want to do and expect the Lord to be with you.
Right.
You understand? Like there's certain guidelines, there's certain prerequisites that comes along with serving the Most High, and we got to fulfill them all. You understand? And we can do it, but the Christian church teaches us that we can't. So tonight, that's what we're going to do. We're going to show who our true enemy is and why they must be punished. You understand? Because when it comes to a black man being punished, the entire earth understands it. If a black man commits a crime, if a black man does something wrong, everyone understands it when he goes to prison.
Right.
If a black man gets killed because he did something wrong, everyone understands it. But as soon as our oppressor do something, we want to be in the spirit of forgiveness. We want to forgive every atrocity that's happened to us. You feel me? And we want to blame each other for everything that we do. But guess what? The Lord doesn't forget.
Right.
You know, there is a punishment that's coming for our oppressor because of the way he's mishandled the nation of Israel. If I could, let me start off in Deuteronomy 28 and 68. We're gonna see this in the scripture. You understand who our enemies are. We're gonna break it down. We're gonna make it as simple as we can make it, and show you that your brother, which is a fellow black, Hispanic, or Native American man, is not your enemy. That is your brother. However, our oppressor, the colonizer, he is our enemy, and we're going to get this in the scripture. You got that?
Con.
Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. This is saying he's going to bring us into Egypt again, meaning like anyone familiar with the Exodus story, we understand that we were enslaved in Egypt at one point in time. Moses freed us, we came through the Red Sea, so forth and so on, you understand? But the Lord is saying he shall bring thee into Egypt again with ship. Egypt means bondage, you understand? The Lord is going to bring us in bondage again with ships. That's very important, because a lot of people will contest that, it's been other slaveries out here. Other nations have been enslaved, which is true. But no other nation has been enslaved by way of cargo slave ship.
That's right.
Right now we're reading of the transatlantic slave trade in the Bible. You understand? This is why you know that the oppressor is not the author of this book. Keep going.
By the way whereof I spoke unto thee.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee. You understand? Like, pretty much saying, keep going real quick.
Thou shalt see it no more again.
When we heard this, we were in our land. You understand? The Lord is saying, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. We shouldn't see our homeland again. You understand? So you can get a plane ticket and go over to Israel right now. We're not living. That's not our land at this point in time. You understand? That's how you know that the true Jews are not over in Israel right now. They are imposters. Right now, the true Jews of the Bible right now are still in captivity.
Right.
Keep going.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemy.
To your brothers.
Your enemy.
To your friends.
Your enemy.
To your equals.
Your enemies.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies. And if anybody, we all know this because that's the only thing they showed on Black History Month is us being enslaved. We understand that we were enslaved by the so-called white man. You understand? The Most High called him our enemy. He is not to be our brother. He is not to be our equal. We came over into this land to serve out a punishment. You understand? The so-called white man is called our enemy right here in the scriptures. Keep going.
For bond men and bond women, and no man shall buy you.
For bondmen and for bondwomen, no man shall buy you. You understand? Ain't no one come over here to save us. You understand? Ain't no nation come over here and take up arms in our name. You understand? We were sold for bondmen and bondwomen. We were sold into slavery by our enemies. The Africans, the Arabs, the so-called the Jewish man, you understand, and the so-called white man. These are all of our enemies. We were sold to our enemies, you understand? If I could, let me get Lamentations 1 and verse 5. And this is very important because right now in 2020, we don't know who our enemies are. But everybody claims to read the Bible and have a relationship with God. And if that's the case, we would understand exactly who our enemies is. The Most High done told us plainly who our enemies are. You understand? They make it seem like we crazy for saying that the so-called white man is the devil.
Right.
And that we he's our enemy. But here in Scripture it lies where the Most High is calling him our enemy because we were sold into slavery to him. You understand? You got that for me?
Come.
Go ahead.
Lamentations chapter 1, verse 5. Her adversaries are the chief. Her enemies prosper. This is
talking about our nation. You understand? Say her adversaries are the chief. Her enemies prosper. You understand? Right now, the people who enslave us, our enemies right now, they prosper. They prosper, you understand? Because they psychologically conditioned us to hate each other and to love them. You understand? The more we love them, the more we hate each other. And the more we hate each other, the more that they benefit. The so-called white man is the only one that can create a catastrophe. He can create the catastrophe and then get paid off of becoming the hero who fixed it.
Right.
You understand? He's the only man that can kill all of the sharks in the ocean and didn't benefit off of it, and had people sending him money to save the whales. You understand? Like, he prospers in his wickedness. You understand? Keep going.
For the Lord has afflicted her for the multitude of her transgressions.
Right now, the Lord has afflicted us because of the multitude of our transgressions. You understand? We didn't want to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. Kind of similar to what we're doing right now. You understand? We fall into every other culture except our own. We want to be Christians. We want to be Muslims. We want to be 5%ers. We want to be something in the conscious community. You know, Aborigine. You know, what's something else? What's the African? Scientologists. You understand? Buddhists. We want to be everything other than what our nationality tells us to be, which is Israelites according to the Bible. You understand? Keep going.
Her children are gone into captivity before the enemy.
Her children are gone into captivity before the enemy. Here it is. It lies again that the Most High is calling this so-called oppressor our enemy. You understand? This is why we came over here. We came over here to serve out a punishment. And it's very important to note that everybody in the nation wasn't sinning. The entire nation of Israel wasn't breaking the laws, statutes, and commandments, you understand? But the Most High does not look at us as individuals. The Most High looks at us as a nation. Right. So because we as a nation were breaking the laws, statutes, and commandments, everyone had to go into bondage. Everyone had to get on those ships and come over here on cargo slave ships, you understand? That's very important to note. And we're God's chosen people. So God is going to punish his chosen people for sinning against him. What more will he do to the people, the wicked people who punish his children? You understand? We want to get this in scripture. And I bring that up chiefly because when we speak of what's going to happen or what's going to befall the so-called white man, our oppressor, that's what everybody wants to individualize him. Well, Timmy's a nice guy. You know, Timmy doesn't do any wrong. He buys me lunch on the job. You understand? If the boss says something to me, he stands up for me. Timmy's a nice guy. He's done nothing to no black. You understand? We want to forgive him and make him an individual. But yet and still, we had righteous men and women who were still keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. And guess what? We all went into slavery. I want y'all to remember that point. Keep going, Brother Bishop.
That was verse 6.
Come.
Lamentations chapter 1, verse 6. And from the daughter of Zion, all her beauty is departed. Her princes are become like harts that find no pasture.
All her beauty is departed. Like the thing that made us a beautiful nation, you understand? Like, we are diamonds in the rough, you understand? Even though we getting high, even though we sinning against the Most High, people still can see the treasure of who we are, you understand? But our beauty has departed us because we were so righteous, you understand? We were once a righteous nation, and everybody can see it from afar off, you understand? And that's what we're called to do, you understand? This is what we got to come back to. But like I say, her princes are become like harts. A hart is a male deer. You understand? A hart is a male deer. They become as harts that find no pasture. You see what I'm saying? So he's like, you running to and fro. You ain't got no objective, you just moving along, you understand? You feel me? Looking to find your next meal. This is what has become and befallen the nation of Israel. You understand? Keep going.
That's right. And they are gone without strength before the pursuer.
Before the pursuer, we've gone out without strength. That's why they hunt us. You understand? They do whatever they want to do to us, you feel me? Because we don't have a strength, we don't have a defense. We don't have a military might. You understand? Back when you read in the scriptures when David was ruling, a nation that came up against Israel, guess what? It was wartime. You understand? Right. We had an army that was ready to go out and take up arms and fight on the behalf of Israel. We don't have that now. You understand? We've been destroyed physically, psychologically, and mostly spiritually. Go ahead, Rob.
I wanted to Common Counsel, I wanted to piggyback on what you said
Go.
because a lot of people say, "Oh well, that white person they didn't do anything." But I always tell them, I always make the point, but that white man is benefiting off the crimes of their forefathers.
Come.
White people are they're comfortable because their forefathers made a way to destroy the Native Indians, to destroy the blacks, so they're benefiting off the fruits. And guess what? They're not giving it back. They're not trying to do anything to give it back. They accepted that crime by benefiting off it, and they're living happily right now.
That's an excellent point, and we want to bring that up, because we want to find out why they have to be punished. We're going to find out, because a lot of people, they just say, well, y'all just hate the so-called white man, y'all are evil, you understand? We don't hate no one because of color, you understand? We don't hate you. We don't hate you because you're a different nation than us. But when you've committed crimes against our people and no one has been punished for them, are we not to require justice? When we commit crimes against each other, guess what? Justice is served. We go to jail. We get killed. We go hard against each other. But when it comes to any other nation out here, we like giving passes out. Right. You see what I'm saying? But the Most High ain't giving them passes out. We're going to find that in the scriptures. If I could drop that, let's go over to Psalms 83, start in verse 2. These scriptures right here that's pointing out and showing us who our enemy is, and what their purpose is, and how they're going to try to seek and destroy us. It's very important for us to understand, because when you know a lot of people who played sports or they've competed in any avenue, you understand that you got to know your opponent. You got to know your opponent's strengths. You got to know your opponent's weaknesses. You got to know how your opponent is going to come at you. You understand? The Most High laid it out for us. Right. The Most High showed us and told us what is going to befall us and how they're going to come and try to beguile us, you understand? But the problem is we throw this book away because we say it's the white man's book. This ain't the white man's book. This is a book of our history. The Most High is trying to free us from the oppression that we're in, and this is why we got to come back to actually doing what the Bible says, you understand? You got that?
Come.
Go ahead.
Psalm 83, verse 2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
Thine enemies, again, is that word, enemies. They make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. Listen, they kill us. You understand? They kill us, they destroy us in each and every way that they can, you understand? We can be in the worst condition. Right now, we're at the bottom. We're at the bottom, and guess what? They still applying pressure to us right now. You understand? Their enemies make a tumult, and they have lifted up the head. Keep going.
Psalm chapter 83, verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones.
They have taken crafty counsel. So when you take counsel, you have a group of individuals, and they come together, and they sit there and they make plans and they strategize on how they're going to accomplish a particular goal. You understand? In this case, they're taking crafty counsel, you understand? Because it's deception in there. It's a lot of usury, there's a lot of conning that's going on. Well, if you do this, I'll do this for you. If you look at the housing market, you understand? Listen, if we can get the news to go and bring the property value down by putting, we can flush the drugs in that community. You understand? And when they start killing each other, we put it on the news, it drops the property value. And guess what? We can go in there, we can buy it for pennies on a dollar. And then we're going to come around and we're going to re-gentrify it, you understand? And we're going to make all the money. They take crafty counsel, you understand? Like it just was a story that came out about how CIA agents was going over to Africa, but they was doing it here as well. And they were planning, they were injecting HIV and AIDS into the community. You understand? Like this is the crafty counsel. Like we understand that all things come from the Most High. And if we keep the law, statutes, and commandments, they can plot and strategize all they want, and it won't touch us. You understand? But this has been the problem of our nation. We do not call on the name of the Most High. We do not turn to the Most High, when we're going through things. You know who we turn to? We turn to our oppressor, the same person that's got us in those positions. You understand? Right. Keep going.
They have said, come and
read verse 3 again, Brother Show.
Come. Psalm chapter 83, verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones.
Who are thy hidden ones? Good, bro. Who are thy hidden ones? You understand? If you ask 10 black people right now, what's your nationality? You're going to get 10 different answers. We are the hidden ones. We are the ones who do not know our identity. We are the ones who lost our culture. We lost our native tongue. We lost our way of life. You understand? Our identity is the one that's hidden in this earth. You understand? We're the ones who don't know it.
It's mainly hidden from us.
And it's mainly hidden from us because guess what? They still got their records. Mind you, our nation, we got sieged, you understand? They took all our records, all our artifacts, all of our writings and whatnot, you feel me? But they still got their records. So they understand who we are, but their job is to put us out of commission, you understand? Go ahead, Bob.
And keep it hidden from us so we can't come into power, realizing how powerful we are.
Come. And they keep it hidden from us because if they can keep our identity hidden from us, and we don't recognize the pedigree in which we come from, we don't understand that King David, King Solomon, Yahweh Shah himself, we descend from them, we descend from them, our patriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. If we don't understand that we come from them, guess what? We're going to try to join every culture. We're going to sin against the Most High. And if we sin against the Most High, all we do is we build their kingdom.
Right.
You understand? Go ahead, Bob.
That's the whole reason they keep it hidden from us, so we don't realize the reason for keeping the commandments. We don't think it's no reason for keeping the commandments. But we come into power when we keep the commandments. I mean, that make everything happen faster with the Most High coming.
And that's in the scripture. They say when we come back to keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, these other nations look at us as wise. They say that their God must really be for them. You understand? They see the things that happen and what the Most High does for us. So when we come back to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, we don't realize, but the Most High fights for us.
Right.
You understand? And these other nations, they're witness to it. So that's why they hide our identity from us, because if you don't know where you come from, you're just going to try to join yourself to anything. You're going to join any culture. You're going to do whatever that culture do. That's why blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, that's why we're homosexuals. That's not our culture. That's why we're drug dealers. That's not our culture. We eat swine, pork, crab, shrimp. That's not our culture. But guess what? And when we join these other nations, they call what the Most High called disgusting, abominable things, they call it delicacies. And guess what? Right now, in the midst of a global pandemic, you got black people going out and spending $150 and $200 on a dozen of crabs. You understand? Well, goddamn, all you got to do is fry that bread up that's running up your street. You understand? It's the same exact thing. You understand? You ain't got to, it's like when we sin, we build that kingdom.
Right.
It's a heathen right now that's collecting $200,000 and $400,000 and $600,000 a week from our people in the midst of a global pandemic because we want to sin against the Lord. You understand? This is what happens when identity is hidden from a people. Keep going, Brother Bishop.
Psalm chapter 83, verse 4. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
That's what it comes down to. They have said, come and let us cut them off. Mind you, this is a group of individuals, a group of nations that have said, come and let us cut them off. They know who we are. We just don't. They don't want the true Israelites to find out who they really are. Because Lord forbid we ever come back to the Most High and start doing what He told us to do. Guess what? Their kingdom will fall overnight. And they know that. Keep going.
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
Listen, they plotting. They strategizing against us, but the Most High said, the gates of hell should not prevail against my church. The gates of hell is not going to prevail against Israel. You understand? They can try to destroy us all they want to. They will not destroy us. If you go back to ancient Egypt, you understand? It's like they put so much hardship and bondage on us, but guess what we was doing in the midst of all the work they was putting on us? We were multiplying.
Right.
We were having kids. You understand? Like, if you look over here right now, that's why they put the abortion clinics in our communities. They put the abortion communities in our communities because they want us to kill our children. You understand? Because once a black man and a black woman gets together, guess what? They gonna have that rhythm between them, and they gonna lay down and they gonna bring forth children. Now imagine if we were keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. You had a righteous man and a righteous woman laid down in their head, and they brought up a righteous child. Guess what? This nation would be powerful. This kingdom that we're enslaved in right now would fall, and they understand that. Keep going.
Verse 5. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against thee. Like they are in unison against us. You understand? They've all said aye. They've all said, given the okay in their different languages, this is what we're going to do. This is the plan we're going to put in motion. You understand? This is why certain nations, they can come over here and get business loans and stuff like that. In a matter of days, when it takes a black man or a black woman months to a year to start a simple business.
Right.
You understand? This is something that they plotted to do, to destroy us and to wipe us out. Keep going.
Verse 6. The tabernacles of Edom.
Here we go. These are the nations consulting against us. The tabernacle of Edom, the so-called white man. Keep going.
And the Ishmaelites.
There go the Arabs. Keep going.
Of Moab.
There you go. That's with the Chinese. Keep going.
And the Hagarenes.
Keep going.
Gabal.
Guess what? Them Hagarites and Gabal, they them Africans. You understand? We think we African American and we think we are part of them. Guess what? They're in that council as well.
Right.
They seek to destroy us as well. They are not our brothers. Though we think that we come from the motherland and we come from all this, you understand? We're just not up on our history. You understand? These African nations are not our brothers. They are not our family. Guess what? And they are plotting with the Edomites and the Ishmaelites and the Moabites and Ammon. They're plotting with them to destroy us as well. You understand? We're going to drop that. Let me get Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, and we're going to start in verse 10. It's very heavy that when we bring these scriptures out, that we understand that the Most High is revealing certain things to us because He don't want us falling into the same pit holes and the same traps that our forefathers and foremothers fell into. You understand? You got that?
Come.
Go ahead.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy.
That's a never trust thine enemy. So far, we've shown who our enemy is thus far, you understand? The so-called white man, our oppressor, has been shown to be our enemy. The Bible is now saying, never trust him. Keep going.
For like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness.
For like as iron rusteth, you understand? Like we all understand that iron is a metal. If you leave iron in the elements, though it's shiny, though it looks good when you first install it, if you leave it to the elements, it's going to start to rust. It's going to start to break apart. There's nothing you can do about it. You understand? You can treat it all you want to treat it. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can shine it up all you want to shine it up. But once it's left to the elements, it has no choice but to rust. The Most High is saying, so is his wickedness. So Johnny on the job, that he's not like the typical white people. He's not like the typical oppressor, you understand? He understands the plight of the black man. He understands how they're beguiling and they're deceiving us, you feel me? He's for the cause. You understand? He walked in the Black Lives Matter rally. You understand? Even him, his wickedness is towards the nation of Israel. You understand? Go ahead, you right.
Come on. So I just wanted to even add, actually, Johnny at the job, a lot of times the liberal white, the one that marches with you, they're the worst. They're the worst ones because they like to get in your culture and they like to change things around. See, they'll march the Black Lives Matter movement, and then they'll start saying, "Well, all lives matter." See, when the liberal right gets in there, they like to change and switch it up because they want to have a voice too.
And actually, they're the most dangerous ones.
Come.
The ones who come off like they're your friend. They come off like they're your buddy. They understand you. They try to throw a little slang in there once in a while. You know, they may help you out with a couple of dollars if you need it. You know. They're the most dangerous ones because we let our guards down with them. You understand? But just like the scripture just said, as sure as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. You understand? All it takes is the right situation to bring out that wickedness towards us.
Right.
You understand? And it's going to happen. This is what the Lord is telling us, you know, and this is what we got to watch out for. This is the wisdom in the sight of these other nations that the Most High speaks about. This is our wisdom. Like I don't got to turn around and get a knife in my back to know that you got a sharp object in your hand. You understand?
Right.
Like I don't need to get stabbed in my back. Like they say experience is the best teacher, you feel me? But guess what? I'm gonna get the experience of you getting stabbed in your back to realize like I'm not trying to get stabbed. You understand? I'm not trying to get beguiled, so I'm gonna watch you make that mistake and I'm gonna learn from your experience. You understand? And this is what we gotta do as a nation. We got to learn from the mistakes of our forefathers and our foremothers, you understand? And use that experience to make better and wiser decisions as it comes to keeping these law, statutes, and commandments. Keep going.
Verse 11. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. Thou shalt be unto him as if thou...
Hold up. Though he go crouching. You understand? You ever see the oppressor? He try to come off humble and excuse me, you know.
Right.
I have a question, you know. I would like to interject. You see what I'm saying? That's how they do it. They crouch and put their head down and try to seem like they're so humble and non-threatening. You understand?
Like the Christian church preacher.
Yeah, like the Christian church preacher. You understand? They come off so docile. You understand? This is how they do. They crouch and they put their head down and This is part of the deception that you're seeing. The Most High is bringing out their characteristics. Read that from the top, Brother Kishore.
Come. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 11. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass.
That's right. Listen, you see him for what he truly is. You understand? Don't be fooled by the fact that he's crouching and he's talking soft and he, Don't be fooled by that. Be it as if you wiped off a looking glass and you could see him for what he truly was. You understand? This is what the Most High is telling us. Don't turn your back to him. Take good heed. You turn your back to him. You put your guards down with him, and he gonna make you pay for it. This is what the Most High is telling us. But guess what? We've been taught to love him. So when he put his head down and he talks soft and he interjects and he wants to add his 2 cents into your family business, you know what we do? We stop talking with each other. We stop communicating with each other and we listen to him. We take his advice on how to fix us.
Yep.
You understand?
Right.
When he's the actual man who got us at war with each other.
Right.
The Most High said, take heed of him. Keep going.
And thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away.
There you go. His rust has not been altogether wiped away. Even though he's trying to polish himself up. He knew that his rust would be seen. Just like we talked about the iron rusting. You feel me? He came back. Imagine you see a piece of iron or something like that and on the streets or something. You pick it up and you try to clean it up a little bit. You see what I'm saying? Try to bring it back to its original characteristics, you understand? And shine it up again. That's what he does. He tries to polish himself. He tries to understand you and what your passions are. He understands how to speak to you. You understand? understand? The Most High is saying his rust cannot be hidden. It cannot be wiped away. He's still going to be wicked and evil to us. You understand? The Most High said, that's why the Most High said, take heed. Keep going.
Verse 12. Set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand.
There it is. He said, stop that from the top again.
Come. Verse 12. Set him not by thee.
Set him not by thee. You understand? A lot of times we want to break bread with them. We want to bring them to the cookout. You know, like they always say, oh, he got an honorary black pass. You understand? That's what black people say. Oh, he ain't like the rest of them, you feel me? He get a pass. You understand? Listen, it ain't no passes given out in the nation of Israel. If we won't give a pass out, we won't give it to each other. We ain't giving it to him because you know why? As soon as we give him a pass, you give it 6 months and guess what? He'll be telling everybody what they're going to do. He'll be telling everybody what they're going to eat, what they're going to say, what your children going to be, how your children going to dress, the sexuality of your children. You understand? This is what they do. You understand? He's going to take your seat. Keep on.
Lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place.
Lest when he's overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. You know how they overthrow us? They start with our women. You understand? They start with our women and they beguile her, just like the garden. You understand? Right. And guess what? Even though you working hard and you breaking your back at the slavery and you paying all the bills, guess who your woman gonna listen to? She gonna listen to that oppressor, because he done overthrown you and taken your place. You understand? Go ahead.
And we were talking about this last night too. And this goes back to slavery, because in slavery, the black man was beaten by the slave master so badly that he couldn't even really get up and work. And then the black woman who was in the house, she saw that, and the oppressor made her look up to him. Kind of like he was, in charge of the master. And then she got a voice in the house, and so she could talk to her oppressor, but then she would look down on that black man that was beat. And she would look at their oppressor as the man of power.
That's exactly what the Most High is saying. He's going to take thy place. You understand? That nice guy, Johnny, from the job, the white guy, who, he understands the black woman and he understands the plight of black people. Guess what? He's going to be your woman's God. You feel me? If not properly checked. Keep
right. Neither let him sit at thy right hand.
Neither let him sit at your right hand. You understand? He coming for our position. As you can see, he's stolen our identity. You understand? We taught him the ways of our nation, and guess what? He took it and ran with it. He took it so far that he even said that he's the people of the book. You understand? Right. Keep going.
Lest he seek to take thy seat, and thou at the last remember my words, and be pricked therewith.
Listen, remember this. Remember this. This is what the Most High is saying, and this is why we got to come back to actually understanding what this Bible is. You got to get back into we got to come back to the Isupk, and we got to learn the truth. You understand? You're not going to find this in other Israelite camps, fake camps. You understand? You're going to find out who our enemy is, and we're going to start finding out what kind of tricks he used to beguile our people. And why is the Lord giving us this? The Lord is giving us because he don't want us to be a destroyed people. If we don't want to follow this book, and we want to act like the law, statutes, commandments are done away with, and we ain't got to keep them, and we ain't supposed to love everybody, guess what? That oppressor is going to take our seat. He's going to sit above us, and he's going to tell us what to do. This is what you see in the earth right now. So this is why we got to learn from these stories. This is why we got to come back to the Isupk and get into these classes, man, and understand what the Most High is revealing to us. What verse was that, Bishop?
That was verse 12.
Keep going.
Verse 13. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come near wild beasts?
Keep going.
Verse 14. So one that goeth to a sinner and is defiled with him and his sins, who will pity? For a while he will abide with thee, but it will begin to fall. He will not tarry.
Keep going. Keep going. Verse 16.
Verse 16.
No, keep going. Read 15 too.
So like I said, I read 15.
All right, go ahead.
Read 16.
Come.
Verse 16. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips.
There you go. The enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips. You know, this is what our oppressor does to us. He talks nice, gentle words. You understand? You know, though we're spiritually at war with him and his nation, he's going to come and he's going to talk nice, and he's going to relieve us of any masculinity. He's going to relieve us of any war-like spirit that we have in us. You understand? This is why they legalize weed. You understand? To take that fight out of the black man, to keep us docile. You understand? You know, this is what they do. They talk sweet with their lips. You know, they say a lot of nice things. You understand? Go, Bob.
And this is where our Christian church pastor, preacher get it, Pastor Porkchop get it from.
Go.
You know what I'm saying? He was choked by the white man. This is why he looks so sweet in his suit and his click-clack shoes, but yet he is a demon in sheep's clothing.
Yeah, that's a good point. You understand? This is why when you go to the Christian church, there's nothing but seducers there. Soothsayers. You understand? They're going to seduce you. They're going to seduce you with good words, you understand? But they're not going to equip you with the tools to actually fight that spiritual war that you should be fighting.
And he is the one who raped so many of our brothers and sisters as kids. But he killed you with the kind, sweet words. Because he was choked by the white man.
And that's what a lot of people say. They say, man, y'all talk too rough. Y'all talk too hard. You understand? But we speaking the truth. You understand? He's going to talk nice, sweet words. Real soft words. It's going to make you feel good about your sin. You see what I'm saying? He talks real sweet with his lips because he understands something that we don't. If he talks to us soft and sweetly, guess what? We're going to remain in our sin. And if we can remain in our sin, guess what? He can continue profiting off of the bloodshed, the rape, and the robbery that his forefathers did. You understand? His kingdom is going to stand, while ours are going to stay in crumbles. You understand? Drop that. Let me get Psalms 55 and verse 21. Like the Most High, they laid it out beautifully. You know that a child can understand through reading these scriptures who our enemy is. You understand? So you beg the question: if a child can receive this information, why is it that so many of our people are still destroyed and don't know who our true enemy is? You understand? This is why we say that the Christian church is worse than crack. You understand? The crackhead is in a better condition than the Christian. Because at least the crackhead understands that, listen, I'm not doing right, I got some work to do. The Christian does not think that.
Right.
The Christian feels like he's righteous. The Christian feels like they're better than their brothers and sisters, you understand? And guess what? The Christian loves the oppressor and hates their brother.
Right.
You understand? You got that?
Come. Psalm chapter 55, verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter.
The words of his mouth were smoother than butter. Hey, I'm your brother. We all come from the same family. We all bleed the same blood. You know why? I didn't have slaves. You know, why can't you forgive me? Why can't we just be brothers? What can we do to make this work? How can we change things for the better? You understand? Keep going.
Come. But war was in his heart.
You understand? So though he speaks so smooth and elegant, and he seduces us, guess what? He's seducing us because he's greedy. He's trying to kill us. What's evidence of this? If you look at the North American Indians, they signed over 77 treaties with the so-called white man, and guess what? he broke every single one of them. You understand? Before I came to truth, the one thing I would always say is, I have never in my life seen a family of North American Indians walking. I have never seen it. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm like, where are they? You see what I'm saying? I've heard of them, but where the hell are they? This is a product of smooth words. His smooth words beguiled the North American Indians to the point where you don't even see a family walking down the streets.
Right.
You understand? This goes hand in hand with the scripture where it said they seek to erase the memory of Israel. You understand? They seek to erase who we are, that the name of Israel will be in no more remembrance. This is what they do. This is what those smooth words bring about. Keep going.
His words were softer than oil.
His words were softer than oil. You know how soft oil can get, especially when you're getting your braids done, man. Like, you get some oil in your head and it's massaged in there, man. It feels so good, you understand? This is how his words are. His words make you feel so good, you understand? It's seducing you. You feel like you can run through a wall after you talk to him, you understand? But keep going.
Yet were they drawn swords.
Yet were they drawn swords. You understand? So he's gonna bring you, he's gonna tell you to bring your knife, and guess what? He's gonna have a gun.
Right.
You understand? Like, that's what he's gonna do with his words. You understand? You know what the most dangerous weapon is with the so-called white man? His pen. You understand? His pen. Because he'll talk to you, and he'll have you sign your life away to him. You understand? You'll sign a treaty with him, you feel me? He's already at war with you. So therefore, you generations late. And you done just signed your way, you just signed you and your people over to him, you understand? This is how he fight his wars, with his pen. Keep going. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, real quick too, and that what you're saying is just really, it brings out to how the white man also, he does war nowadays too. When he makes those contracts with blacks, see, he knows the small print, or they read between the lines. But he deceived the black and says, well, I'll get you out the hood, or I'll get you, when he's going to really get all the profit, and the blacks are just going to get a crumb, but he's building off that black talent.
That's good, bro.
And that's why he make you sign birth certificates. For your own child. Sign papers and child support, so you can sell your life to him.
And that's what he do. And like you said, that fine print is very important, because that's a small microcosm of what he does on a spiritual level. You understand? He'll sell you a pipe dream real quick, but you don't read that fine print.
Right.
You don't read the fine print that say, if I love all nations, I'm going to hate my brother. And if I hate my brother, that means I hate God. You see what I'm saying? You don't read that fine print when he's telling you, man, we can all be one. You're supposed to love everybody. You don't see the fine print that say, by you loving him, you're going to in turn hate God. You feel me? And because you hate God, now God is going to be an enemy unto you. You don't see that until your son gets a bullet to the back of his head. You see what I'm saying? Until the police pulls you over and he got 20 guns on you feel me, for absolutely nothing. You understand? This is the fine print. This is the smooth words and the smooth oil in which the so-called oppressor speaks with. You understand? If I could, let me get Lamentations 4:18, Brother Kasha. Man, these scriptures are truly heavy, man, because the Most High is actually showing us who our enemies are. He's showing us his tactics. He's showing us how he moves. You understand?
Since we're so blind to seeing the truth.
Say again?
I said, since we're so blind to seeing the truth.
Yeah, since we so blind and seeing the truth, you understand, the Most High is laying it out plainly for us. Down to the fact that they come crouching and trying to humble themselves. Like the Most High lays it out to a T. All we gotta do is come in and get back into coming to these classes, man. and get the proper breakdowns and get the proper understanding from the priests and prophets of the Most High. You understand? That's what we got to do as a nation. We got to put our pride aside, and come build with your brother. Come sit in class, you feel me, and build your nation with your brother. One brother at a time, you understand? Just come on to the school, man. We out here for every Black, Hispanic, and Native American. We gonna clean our brothers up, we gonna clean our sisters up, you understand? The first step is coming into this class, you understand? You got that?
Come.
Go ahead.
Lamentations chapter 4, verse 18. They hunt our steps.
They hunt our steps. You understand? Like, if we go back to Genesis and speak about Esau, he was a cunning hunter.
Right.
You understand? He was a cunning hunter, meaning that he set all types of traps up. If you look at the ducks, he got little things where he do the duck calls and stuff like that and bring them out. Guess what? He do the same thing to us. You understand? He hunts us the same way. You know how he do it? He put crack cocaine in our communities.
Right.
You understand? You can't get a job, but guess what? You can sell this pack real quick. Good.
He'll give us a white Christ.
Come on, he'll give us a white Christ.
Christian church and religion.
We think that we can love everybody. That's why the Asian can walk through every hood. If you're from Baltimore, you know how live it is up on Pennsylvania North Avenue. If you're from Baltimore, that's like, I don't care what city you in, the most active part of your city, you feel me? This is what Pennsylvania North Avenue is for Baltimore City. I don't care what time of night it is, I don't care what time of morning it is, it's gonna be 200 to 300 people out there on them corners, you feel me? All day long. Guess what? If you ain't from there, you better have your head on the swivel when you walking through there. You understand? As a Black man or Hispanic or Native American. But guess what? If you're Asian, they walk with their hands behind their back. Unbothered.
Right.
Because they know ain't nobody gonna touch them.
Right.
You understand? This is a product of Christianity. Because Christianity said you gotta love everybody. You gotta love everybody. You can't be like that. You understand? But by us loving everybody, we take the love that we have from each other.
Right.
Which means we begin to hate each other. And they get all the passes in the world. You understand? Where you at?
Verse 18.
All right, keep on.
That we cannot go in our streets. Our end is near.
We can't go on our streets. Our end is near. How many brothers? Listen, when a Black man leaves his house, his life is in danger. That's why you gotta get into this school, man, and get up under the Most High, in the Isupk. Because this is your only protection. Outside of here, man, you leave your house, you never know. That police, he could be watching you 2-3 blocks away. He could have put your tail light out, and now he's following you.
Right.
You understand? All it takes is him pulling you over, and you not having the proper discipline, and you getting, you say something, man, what you put me over for? You get your attitude with him like, man, I'm good, you feel me? For him to pull his gun out and blow your brains away and say that you was resisting arrest or you was doing something illegal, you understand? They hunt our steps in these streets, you understand? Keep going.
Our end is near. Our days are fulfilled.
Our end is near. Our days are fulfilled, you understand? Like, they kill us. They kill us in these streets. What happened to Freddie Gray? They broke his back, man, and killed that brother. You understand? For nothing. For absolutely nothing. Aaron Garner, Tamir Rice. You understand? Trayvon Martin, Sandra Bland, Philando Castile, you understand? Murdered for absolutely nothing. Nothing other than our oppressor, which is our enemy, hunting our steps. You understand? Like, this is what our enemy does, So, like, if what we talked about thus far isn't enough for our people to understand why our enemy or our oppressor, the so-called white man, has to be punished, We're going to hear from the Most High's mouth, you understand? Let me get Joel chapter 3, verse 19. We're going to hear the Most High speak on it. Because in 2020, man, if we don't know who our enemy is, man, we are asleep. And one of them deep sleeps too. You got that?
Come.
Go ahead.
Joel chapter 3, verse 19. Egypt shall be a desolation.
This is spiritual Egypt right here. This is spiritual Egypt in Sodom and Gomorrah. You understand? Right here in America. They say Egypt shall be a desolation. You understand? Like it's going to get destroyed. You understand? Keep going.
And Edom.
And who?
Edom.
And who?
Edom.
The so-called white man. Go ahead.
And Edom shall be a desolate wilderness.
Shall be a desolate wilderness. You understand? Why shall he be a desolate wilderness? You understand? Keep going.
For the violence against the children of Judah.
For the violence against the children of Judah. Because he's hunted out steps. You understand? Because of the crafty counsel. Because of all the wickedness that he's bestowed upon us. You understand? Because of how he taught us to hate the Most High and love him. Guess what? The Most High is going to punish him. Keep going.
Because they have shed innocent blood in their land.
Because they have shed innocent blood in their land. You understand? They've killed us left and right. Like right now, North America, the ground that's walked on in North America is full of blood of Israelites. You understand? Buried. The ground cries out to the Most High. You understand? There's so much blood in this land because of what our oppressors have done and killed us, how they've killed us. You understand? The Most High does not forget that. Even though we forget it and we want to give them a pass for all the bloodshed that they've done to us, the Most High is not giving them a pass.
Right.
The Most High will punish them. You understand? Try that. Let me get over we're going to hear it again. Obadiah 1 and 10. Let me get that. You know, so for those, like we were saying earlier, for those who wonder why do y'all hate the so-called white man? Why do y'all talk about him so much? You understand?
Because God hate him.
That's right, because God hate him. Because God hate him, you understand? And
love what he love and hate what he hate.
That's right. We love what the Most High love and we hate what the Most High hate. You understand? This is how you truly follow the Most High.
Right.
By doing everything in unison with him. That's how you have a relationship with him. Yeah, everybody say that, I got a relationship with my Jesus. I got a relationship with God. You understand? But guess what? If you want a relationship with the Most High, if you want a relationship with Christ, do what they do. Keep these laws, statutes, and commandments.
Right.
Do as they say, not as you feel.
Right.
You understand? This is very important. And like we're bringing out, a lot of people like to say that we wrong for how we view the so-called white man, our oppressor, our enemy. But this is what the Most High said. You got that?
Come.
Go ahead.
Obadiah chapter 1, verse 10.
Matter of fact, start in verse 9.
Obadiah chapter 1, verse 9. And thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter.
It say that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. So guess what? That goes for the nice guy Johnny at the job too. You understand?
Right.
That goes for the nice guy that works at the gas station, you know. That goes for every so-called white man, our oppressor, that we want to give a pass to and that we want to save. You understand? It say every one of them must get cut off by slaughter. Give me verse 10.
Verse 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob.
And this is why. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob. Keep going.
Shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever
and thou shalt be cut off forever. You understand? This is the fate of the so-called white man. Whether we want to believe it or not, this is what the scriptures are telling us. You understand? I don't care if you think that such and such is nice. He's different. He's not like the rest of them. You know, Becky got a good spirit to her. You understand? You know, she understands me. I don't give a damn about none of that. You understand? The Most High just said that they got to get cut off forever because of thy violence against thy brother Jacob. You understand? Because we want to give a pass to them, we dishonor our forefathers and our foremothers who died at the hands of their forefathers and foremothers.
Right.
You understand? We disrespect our culture. We disrespect our heritage. You understand? Every time we want to forgive and forget everything that they've done to us. Barakatah Yahweh Yahweh Shah, the Most High does not forget. You understand? He is going to punish them. Go ahead.
When we say God hates the Most High hates the white man, that's not something that we are saying. That's what the Most High said. And it's in Romans 9 and 13. Jacob have I loved. Jacob is the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. Esau is the father and progenitor of the white race. God said he hates the white man.
God, that's important because, you know, like the brother just read out, you know, if the Most High hates him, who are we to love him?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, do we know better than the Most High? Do we have more wisdom than the Most High? That we want to love something that the Most High hates and hate something that the Most High loves? Like, who the hell are we to even make a decision like that? You understand? But Esau have the Most High hated, and Jacob have he loved. If you're on this sign, you understand? If you on either one of these, on this sign behind me, on this banner, if that's your lineage, guess what? The Most High loves you. You come from the stock of Jacob. You understand? Jacob's name was changed to Israel. That's why it's called Israelites. You understand? So if you from one of his sons, guess what? The Most High loves you. But guess what? If you're not, and in particular, if you're from the nation of Esau or Edom, guess what? There is no salvation for you.
That's
Go
right.
ahead and enjoy this. Go ahead and enjoy what's left of this kingdom right now. You understand? Because the Most High has set up his priests and prophets, and guess what? We're going to go out and do the bidding of our Father. You understand? We're going to go out and we're going to sacrifice our own personal pleasures to go out here and wake our people up.
Right.
You understand? We're going to fight our demons so we can help our people fight their demons. You understand? This is what the Most High has called us to do. We're going to the four corners of the earth, and we're going to go get our brothers and sisters, and we're going to pull our brothers and sisters out of this captivity that we're in.
Right.
You understand? It's going to happen. So, if you're not on these signs, man, go ahead and enjoy this earth. Go ahead and enjoy this kingdom. You understand? This is your heaven. This is your heaven. Your heaven right now. If I could, let me get you know, one thing that gets me too is a lot of Christians, they speak on how passionate David was. You understand? Everyone likes David. You understand? It's like David was a man after God's own heart. You understand? David was a strong man, a mighty man. You understand? But they'll turn around and they'll shun us. You understand? We want to see what David wrote about them. Not only David, but we also want to see what the prophets wrote about him. If I could, let's go back to Psalms 83 and start in verse 13. Let's see what David had to say about these other nations. And mind you, David was a man after God's own heart. Psalms 83 and start in verse 13.
Psalm 83, verse 13. Oh my God.
Now say it like the prayer. Oh my power. You feel me?
Oh my power. Make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind.
Keep going.
Verse 14. As the fire burneth the wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire.
And this is David speaking on these other nations. Them other nations that took crafty counsel against us earlier in the chapter. This is what David is praying to the Most High that he do to him. You understand? Keep going.
As the fire burneth a wood, and as the flame setteth the mountain on fire.
Keep going.
So persecute them with thy tempest.
David said, persecute them. You understand? Keep going.
And make them afraid with thy storm.
And make them afraid with thy storm. David right now is calling down curses. You understand? Tornadoes, earthquakes. You understand? Natural disasters. You understand? This is what David is praying for these other nations that consulted against us to do us harm. You understand? Like, we love David. Everybody like to talk about David. You understand? This is what David prayed for. Keep going.
Verse 16. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name, O Lord.
Keep going.
Let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish.
This is what David is saying. Let them be put to shame and perish. You understand? This is the spirit that David had against these other nations that sought to seek, that seek to kill us, that actually do kill us. You understand? David was called a man after God's own heart. And if this is what David praying, what more should we be praying? Right. What more should we be doing? What kind of spirit should we have in us? David is not saying, oh Lord, let us be one with him. Oh Lord, let us join us and let us love and hold hands in unison and harmony. That's not what David is saying. David is asking for the Most High to persecute them. Keep going. Verse 18.
Verse 18. Salaki. That men may know that
men may know that thou, like that David is, and all that David is doing, he's glorifying the Most High. Man, come down and deal with these nations who came up against us, you understand? So that they may know, keep going.
That thou, whose name alone
whose name alone, you understand? This ain't Buddha, this ain't Allah, this ain't Krishna, this ain't Caesar Borgia. That thou whose name alone is what?
Yahweh.
Is Yahweh. You understand? This is what David prayed for. Lord, come down and deal with these nations so that they may know who you are. You understand? Keep going.
Art the Most High over all the earth.
Art the Most High over all the earth. You understand? Put their gods to shame. You understand? This is what David prayed for. So David prayed for this. What more should we be praying for? What kind of spirit should we be in? Should we be in the spirit to sing songs all day and do dances in the Christian church and act like everything is all sweet while we at war out here? You understand? Is that the spirit that we should be in? Or should we be in the same spirit as David, who the Lord called a man after his own heart? Go ahead, Ron.
Come. They give a precept to David. It's in Psalm 139, verse 21, and this is David also speaking.
Go ahead, read it.
Do not I hate them, O Yahweh, that hate thee? Am I not grieved with those that rise up against thee? I hate them with perfect hatred.
And that's heavy. That is heavy right there. Go ahead and finish it off.
I count them mine enemies.
I count them my friends.
I count them mine enemies.
I count them my brothers.
Mine enemies.
I count us all the same.
Mine enemies.
My enemies. You understand? David understood something that we don't understand this day. You understand? David understood that we had enemies. David understood who the enemy was. You understand? Our enemy is not our brother. That man that brought us over here on cargo slave ship is not our friend.
Right.
You understand? The Most High never said we were brought into slavery by our friends, by our equals. He said we were brought over, brought into Egypt again by way of ship by our enemies. You understand? That's very important to understand. Because now we understand, like, the Christian church is not going to tell you who they're going to, the devil this and the devil that. You ask the simple question, well, who's the devil? Like, can I see him? Like, point them out to me. They can't answer that. They're going to philosophize. Well, it's anything that, you know, all that nonsense, you feel me? They're gonna tap dance in the church and tap dance around the question. You won't get the truth here. The so-called white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of, you understand? He is our enemy.
Right.
You know, point blank and period, you understand? It's clear as day. The Most High is bringing that out. You understand? Let me get Jeremiah 28:8. So you had David who was speaking against these other nations, you understand? And we're going to hear some of the other prophets speaking out against them too. Go ahead, you can start when you got it.
Come.
You're going to get some more in the scripture, man. This is a heavy class, man, and understand who we're supposed to call our brother and who we're supposed to build with, you feel me? And who's naturally our enemy in these scriptures according to God. None of these things are my words. These are not our words that we speak. And everything that we taught of, we found it directly in scripture. And this is how we have to discipline ourselves when we say that when we say we have a relationship with the Most High, or we say we love God, you feel me? Let it be according to scripture. Let it be according to knowledge, you understand? You got that?
Jeremiah, come. Jeremiah chapter 28, verse 8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied.
Hold on, let's say the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied. Meaning, like, listen, all the prophets that came before me, they said something that I'm about to say. You see what I'm saying? That's what we say. Everything that we saying, guess what? The prophets of the Bible said back then. You understand? So though people think we speak too rough or we speak too sharp, guess what? The prophets of old did the same thing. What did they speak on? Keep going.
Of old prophesied both against many countries.
Prophesied both against many countries. Keep going.
And against great kingdoms.
And against great kingdoms. Go ahead.
Of war and of evil and of pestilence.
And this is why we speak against them today. You understand? This is why we speak against these nations and these countries today. You understand? We right here on the brink of war right now. You understand? This is what the prophets talked about back in the day. If you look at the evil, look at all the evil that's going on, especially in this land. You understand? Like, look at the countries. Like, if we focus on North, Central, and South America, we look at the nations where most of our people are enslaved in. You understand? If you look at these nations, it's nothing but evil going on. You understand? We've been taught to be drug dealers and murderers and gangsters and homosexuals and all manners of wickedness. We do everything that the Lord has commanded us not to do in these nations. This is what we've been taught. You understand? So the Most High said, go and prophesy against these places. You understand? Go and prophesy. What is the pestilence? The pestilence is COVID-19. You understand? That's what the pestilence is. And guess what? It's going to be more plagues to come. And famine. You understand? The same thing that happened in ancient Egypt, those plagues being poured out, it's going to happen. And you know what? It's going to happen where God's people are being held captive.
Right.
You understand? That's why you have COVID-19 and coronavirus, and the earth is shut down right now. You understand?
Right.
That's why you got killer bees on the way. I know we've all heard about them coming. You know, they here now. You understand? Killer bees, guess what? They aim to kill us. You know? We ain't worried about no killer bees when we got killer cops right up the street from us, you feel me?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? This is the pestilence that these nations are going to suffer. because of their wickedness. And this is what the prophets of old prophesied. You understand? This is what they spoke of. Y'all gonna hold my people and y'all gonna hold out people like this, you feel me? You teaching my people to sin against the Most High? This is what's gonna happen to you. This is the devil that the Bible speaks of. The same way we speaking today is the same way they spoke back then. You understand? Ain't nothing changed. And guess what? The same way people came up against the priests and prophets of old in the Bible is the same way they come up against us now. You feel me? Nothing's changed. That's why the Christian pastor, that's why he's a soothsayer, you feel me? Because he ain't telling you the truth. That's why it's so easy to receive what he got for you. You understand? You gotta love the Most High to receive the true words of the Most High, you feel me? Because you know what? You gotta battle yourself now. You actually gotta change. It's like, say it again?
What is love?
Yeah, like what is true love? You understand? Let's get that 1 John 5:3. Like, what is true love? You understand? Or love of the Most High. We got any questions, anything like that in the chat? No phone, nobody on the phone lines? You give them the number to call the phone lines, Brother Kashaw? Should be on the what's the name? Hey, if you got any questions or comments, you feel me? Drop it in the chat. If I can, we get in time, I answer any questions and whatnot, you feel me? Feel free to call in on the chat line. We're going to put a number up there for you real soon. You got that scripture, Brother Kashaw?
Come. 1 John chapter 5, verse 3. For this is the love of God.
For this is the love of God. Right here, you understand? The love of God ain't, I got a feeling, you understand?
Right.
I got a personal relationship with God, you understand?
Right.
None of those things are love according to the Most High. We want to find out, some of us for the first time, what the love of the Most High is. Keep going.
For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments.
That we keep his commandments, you understand? And this is very important because this is the New Testament, right? This is the New Testament that we're coming out of.
Right.
So if in the New Testament, after Acts, after when the so-called new church was set up, it's saying that the love of God is to keep his commandments, guess what that means? That means that the commandments are still in effect. That means that they're not done away with.
Right.
That means if you eat pork, crab, lobster, or shrimp, you don't love the Most High.
Absolutely. You do not have a relationship with him.
If you're a homosexual, you don't love the Most High.
And you do not have a relationship with him.
Right.
You understand? That's what that means. So for everybody, I got a personal relationship with God, but you eating them crabs, you're lying. You understand? Go ahead.
For this is the love of God.
So where you at?
1 John chapter 5, verse 3. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments.
That we keep his commandments, you feel me? This is what we must do, you understand? And when we keep his commandments and we do according to these scriptures, guess what the love of the Most High will cause you to do? The love of the Most High will actually cause you to love your brother again. You understand? The love of the Most High will cause you to hate your enemies and love yourself. You understand? This is what the love of the Most High and keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments do for you. Because when you start loving the Most High, you get into the spirit of the Most High. You understand?
Right.
And like we spoke on earlier, the Most High said, "For Esau have I hated, and Jacob have I loved." You feel me? So when you begin to love the Most High, you don't differentiate and separate what you want to do according to what you want to do. You see what I'm saying? You do exactly what the Most High do.
Right.
You do exactly what the Most High commands you to do. You understand that you do not have the authority to change nothing about the Most High and how he do things. You understand that? And that's why that's important. You understand? So, it's very important that we get into this topic because, you know, a lot of people always ask, you know, dude, so what do y'all do? Do y'all go out and do y'all hurt people and stuff like that? Like, that's the common misconception about Israelites, that we go out here and we do all these things to the oppressor or something like that. You know, people call us black KKK and all that kind of stuff. Listen, this is a love group here. Man, we love our people. You understand? We love blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. This is a spiritual war that we fight. We don't put our hands on no man. We will defend ourselves because this ain't the Christian church, you feel me? But we're not to pick up arms and go out there and go at anybody, you understand? We understand that the Most High, when we come back to serving Him, the Most High will deal with Him, and we're going to get that in the scriptures. Go ahead, Bob.
People say that about us, but never seen the UPK participate in any acts like that. We have seen Christians sell drugs. We have seen Christians be homosexual, murderers, thieves, everything that the Most High said for us not to be. That's what your Christians are. And that's a great point that you brought up, man. Ottawan, like that's a great point because what you'll see is a lot of people, they put a lot of stigmas on the priests and prophets of the Most High. But when you go in and you see the actions and the works of these false prophets out here, listen, it was a brother. This is a couple of years ago. Man, he thought he got his Ray pregnant. He all excited, he all on Facebook talking about he got his first child coming. You understand? Come to find out, that's Pastor's baby. Pastor busted his wife, you understand?
Wow.
And when he found out, he brought a brick into the congregation. Preacher up there on the stage preaching. He see the brother walking towards him with a brick. Now, if you know that you done took this man's wife and put a baby in her, stole this man pride and joy, you understand? A righteous man at least would have took the damn brick. You feel me? This pastor pulled the gun out and blazed on him and shot and killed that brother in that church.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? How unrighteous. If you had any kind of respect or love for your own people, you'd have took that brick because of what you did to that brother. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Having a gun let you know what he did.
Like this is the spirit behind Christianity. This is because Christianity is an extension, is a vessel of white supremacy. So when our oppressor gets mad, what does he do? He kills.
Right.
He goes out, he rapes, he robs, he takes what he wants. You feel me? He puts everything that he said that you shouldn't do, he put that to the side until it accomplishes his goals. And then he brings it back in. It's almost like he calls a timeout on his own rules and regulations. You feel me?
Right.
And this is what the Christian church do. They take, you better tithe, you better do this, you better do that. You feel me? But guess what? When something benefits them, the LGBTQ, SRG, XUYZ, you feel me? When they say we're going to donate to the Christian church, you know what they say? It's okay for you to be a homosexual. You see what I'm saying? The Most High told us, He said, not to water our ways down for love. You feel me? Don't water our ways. Don't water your ways down to seek love. Most High don't want us doing that. You understand? But this is the spirit of our oppressor. And this is why we got to come out of the Christian churches, because the Christian church is nothing more than an extension of that.
Right.
You understand? But we're going to get back into our enemies right now. You feel me? Let me get Ezekiel chapter 25 and verse 12. Go ahead, show.
Go.
We're going to use 12 to 14.
Ezekiel chapter 25, verse 12. Thus saith the Lord God, because that Edom hath dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and have greatly offended, and revenged himself upon them. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, I will also stretch out my hand upon Edom, and will cut off man and beast from it. And I will make it desolate from Teman, and they of Dedan shall fall by the sword.
Listen, the Most High is going to destroy the nation of Esau. You understand? Like we don't have to pick up a gun and go out here and go to war and stuff like that. That's not how we fight right now. We fight spiritually. Right now, we got to fight to fix ourselves, you understand? And the only way we're going to do that is by returning to keeping the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments. That's how we fight right now, you understand? But when we do that, guess what? The Most High is going to turn his vengeance from us, and he's going to turn it to them, and he's going to cut them off forever. Keep going.
Verse 14. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel.
Uh-oh. Keep going.
And they shall do in Edom according to my anger and according to my fury. And they shall know my vengeance, saith the Lord God.
They shall know my vengeance. You understand? The Most High is going to repay the nation of the nation of Esau or Edom. The so-called white man, our oppressor, our enemy. The Most High is going to repay them in totality for what they've done to us. You understand? So when people say, that we hate because we hate the white man because we don't hate nobody because of their color. You understand? But we do hate people because of the crimes that they have committed against our people and the fact that they never get punished for it. You understand? Go ahead.
So like you, sir, and it's funny because all the other nations hate us because of our color.
Come on. And that's true racism. You see what I'm saying? Racism just means that you prefer your people above everybody else. So there's nothing wrong with that, but they made it a byword. The way that they use racism is because they look at us and because of the color of our skin, that's why they hate us. You feel me?
Come.
But we don't hate because of skin color. We hate because of crimes that's been committed. We hate because there's been crimes that no one has been punished for.
Right.
But everybody want to be forgiven for. You see what I'm saying? Most High ain't forgiving all that. You understand? If I could, let me get Isaiah 51 and verse 22. Most High don't forget none of that. Like I said, we ain't about giving passes to these other nations at this time. And that should motivate each and every Black, Hispanic, and Native American, you feel me, to get into this work, man. Join the Isupk, get into this work, man. Learn what you got to do to change your life and serve the Most High. Because when we turn back to the Lord, guess what? The Lord is going to turn back to us. And when the Lord turns back to us, good night for these other nations. And particularly Esau. You understand? This kingdom will fall. You got that?
Come. Isaiah chapter 51, verse 22. Thus saith thy Lord, the Lord, and thy God that pleadeth the cause of his people. Behold, I have taken up thine hand, the cup of trembling.
Most I say, I've taken out of thine hand the cup of trembling. Right now, and for so long, we've had that cup of trembling. You understand? We've been scared of our own damn shadow because we know that we can be killed at every moment. You feel me? Like we've been subject to every form of abuse and torture there is in the earth. You understand?
Right.
Like we've had that cup of trembling for so long. Keep going.
Even the dregs of the cup of my fury.
Even the dregs of the cup of my fury. Like we've experienced the cup of the Most High's fury. You understand? Like we die. We get diseases. You understand? We get cut off. We get bullets to the back of the head. You understand? Like. That's the fury of the Most High. You understand? We've experienced these things. We've been put into slavery because we've experienced the fury of the Most High. Keep going.
Thou shalt no more drink it again.
Most High is saying, thou shalt no more drink it again. But man, we ain't drinking it no more, so what's going to happen next? Keep going.
Verse 23. But I will put into the hand of them.
But I will put into the hand of them. That means that the Lord, this cup that he got of fury, he ain't just pour it out. You understand? He ain't pour it out and get rid of it. He just took it from our hand, and guess what? He's about to pass it on. Let's see who he's going to pass it on to. Keep going.
into the hand of them that afflict thee.
He's going to put it into the hands of them that afflict thee. Who afflicts thee right now? Who afflicts blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans?
So-called white man.
The so-called white man, our oppressor, our enemy. You understand? The Most High is going to put it into his hand. Keep going.
Which have said to thy soul, bow down.
They've said to us to bow down. You feel me? They want our heads to the earth. They want us kissing up to them and worshiping them. You understand? Keep going.
That we may go over, and thou hast laid thy body as the ground, and as the street to them that went over.
And thou hast laid thy body as the ground, meaning they have killed us. You understand?
Right.
Like right now, when they say they have laid thy body as the ground and as the street to them that went over, like that's literal. That's literal. You understand? Like right now, we walk on the bones of the North American Indians. You understand? Like the blood of Israelites cry out from the earth to the Most High.
Right.
You understand? But the Most High say he's going to take that trembling from us. He's going to take that cup from us, and he's going to put that into the hands of them that oppress us. You understand?
Right.
So guess what? That's why you have coronavirus. They running scared right now.
Right.
And guess what? There's more plagues to come. There's more plagues to come. The Most High is going to deal with this nation accordingly. You understand?
Right.
They will not go unpunished. And this is what we got to understand. And this is why we got to separate from them. You know why black people are getting coronavirus? Because we refuse to separate from the culture of our oppressor. If we separate from the culture of our oppressor, these plagues won't touch us.
Right.
How do I know that? It happened in Egypt. You understand? We separated from them. We knew that we were not Egyptians. We knew that we were Israelites. We understood we had a God that would fight for us. You understand? So when these plagues were poured out, them plagues ain't touch us, but they did hit them Egyptians. The same thing will happen in this land, which is spiritually spiritually Egypt, spiritually Gomorrah. You understand? If we separate from them, guess what? Them plagues that's coming, they ain't gonna hit blacks and Hispanics. But we got to do our part, and that's why we got to come back to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. Go ahead.
That's a powerful what you said. Because if we separate from them, we come back to our own culture.
Come.
And our culture keeps the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High.
Come.
We won't be breaking the law. So we're dying because we're breaking the law.
Come.
Following behind these other nations.
Come. You feel me? Like, to me, that's simple. But we understand, like, we've been brainwashed. You feel me? And a washing of our brains need to happen. We need to forget everything that we've learned in the Christian church. We need to forget everything that this so-called white man has taught us. You understand? Go ahead.
Become born again like the Bible said.
And be born again. How do you become born again?
By becoming a child that pay attention to every word of his father.
Come on. And how do we do that now?
By keeping the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High.
Damn right. You know where you're going to do that at? You know how you're going to learn that? By coming to the Isupk.
Under Commandant General Yohana.
Under Commandant General Yohana. Like, that's how you do it. You understand? Like, we speaking from the Bible, man. You understand? If I could, let me get Isaiah 14 verse 1. Like the Most High is going to pour out his punishment on them. He already said he's going to take the cup of trembling from us. He's going to take his fury from us, and he's going to put that cup into him that oppress us. You understand?
Most High Christ.
Damn right. You feel me? Like, it's going to happen. You understand? And guess what? We're going to find out in the scriptures, like, you know, what's going to happen. You got that? Isaiah 14 verse 1?
Come. For Isaiah chapter 14 verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob.
For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob. Jacob's name was changed to Israel. So when you hear the word Jacob, when you hear the name Jacob, know that that's the 12 tribes of Israel. You understand? The Lord is going to have mercy on us. You understand? Keep going.
And will yet choose Israel.
And will yet choose Israel. Keep going.
And set them in their own land.
And set them in their own land. Keep going.
And the strangers shall be joined with them.
And the strangers shall be joined with them. That kind of sounds like that. When we go into our kingdom, that means like other nations are coming with us, right? Like if I was to read this, that's what it's saying, right? These other nations are coming. That means like, damn, all that we didn't talk, you feel me? And Esau is going to make the kingdom, right? Let's read on. Keep on.
And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. So the Africans, the East Indians, the Asians, the so-called white man, they all gonna make it to the kingdom. Like for all of those who feel like everybody can come into the kingdom, like this is your scripture to prove it, right? Right? Let's read on. Keep going.
And the people shall take them.
And the people shall take them. What people shall take them? The nation of Israel shall take them. Keep going.
And bring them to their place.
And bring them to their place. So when you take a person, what does that mean? Like, how do you take a person? You feel me?
Just think about how the white man took us.
Damn right.
That's right.
We were taken and brought into captivity. You understand? It say, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place. Keep going.
And the house of Israel shall possess them.
And the house of Israel shall possess them. What does that mean? What does that mean? Damn right. Go ahead, Rob.
They're going to take them as slaves.
They're going to possess them. Slaves. When they say they're going to possess them, that means they're going to own them.
That's right.
They're going to own them. Keep going.
And shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives.
They shall take them what?
Captives.
They shall take them what?
Captives.
They shall take them captives. Uh-oh. That means that slavery is in the Bible. That means that the so-called white man has to go into slavery, right? Keep going.
Whose captives they were.
Whose captives they were. Whose captives were we?
Right.
We were captives of our enemies. We were captives of the so-called white man.
Right.
We were captive of the oppressor, you understand?
Right.
Guess what? They're going to be our captives.
That's right.
Keep going.
And they shall rule over their oppressors.
And they shall rule over their oppressors. I mean, good night. This is what's going to happen. This is the fate and what's going to befall Esau, the so-called white man, our oppressor. You understand? And guess what? Damn right. And guess what? That don't mean that goes for. Remember I said earlier. I want everybody to note the comment that I made when I said all of Israel was not sinning against the Most High, but all of Israel went into captivity. We went into captivity as a nation. So just like the Lord took his chosen people and put all of us into captivity because all of us wasn't sinning, but a lot of us were. We all went in. That's the same thing that's going to happen to them. So for that one to say, well, I didn't have any slaves. I didn't own slaves. I marched with you guys. Didn't I feed you? Didn't I house you? Guess what? He's going into slavery. He's going to be captive. You understand? The Lord is going to take them as a nation into captivity the same way he took his children into slavery. You understand? So you mean to tell me that the Most High will take us, the people, his children that he loved, that he's chosen, he'll take us into captivity as a nation, but he'll deal with our oppressors individually? It ain't gonna happen. They must go into captivity as a nation.
That's
understand?
right.
This is what's gonna happen in the Bible. Not only that, drop down to verse 21, Public Shah.
Isaiah chapter 14, verse 21. Prepare slaughter.
Prepare slaughter. What is slaughter? Death. It's a prepare slaughter. Keep going.
For his children, for the iniquity of their fathers.
Uh-oh. So for everyone for every one of the oppressors' children that come up and say, well, I didn't own slaves. You know, I didn't do anything wrong. Guess what? The Most High said, prepare slaughter for you. The Most High said, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers. You understand? Keep going.
That they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities.
That's right. The Most High is going to annihilate them. You understand? And the Most High is going to annihilate them because if the Most High does not prepare slaughter for his children, you know what they're going to do? Just like we read in the scriptures earlier, we'll let them sit at our right hand.
Right.
You understand? They'll come crouching. They'll come with their smooth words. They come on their knees and, you beg forgiveness and all this kind of stuff, and we'll forgive them. And guess what? They'll rise in the earth again. The Most High is going to squash that. You understand? Go ahead, Bob.
That's powerful that you said that, because I always thought maybe that's why the Most High chose us, because we are so much of a loving people, man. We forgive all the rape, robbery, murder, all oppression that he's done. And the white man has not that in his heart. Not even an inch of that in his heart. I'm saying, we are a loving people, man.
We are. And like the scriptures say, the earth was given into the hand of the meek. You see what I'm saying? Like, you know how humble we are when you watch us deal with other nations. You see what I'm saying? Like, you see the potential of our nation when you see us deal with our oppressor. When you see us deal with the Asians and the East Indians, we see how loving and caring and understanding we are for them. You understand? Like, we care more about their history than we do our own. Right. But imagine for one instant that we stop caring about them and took that love and put it into ourselves. You understand? Like, imagine how beautiful our nation will be. Our princes and princesses can return to being the beautiful nation that we were designed to be. You understand? This is what the Most High is trying to get us to see. And this is why we got to come back to keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments and doing as the Most High said. You feel me? A lot of people say, man, you stuck in that Old Testament, y'all talk about the Old Testament, man, like that don't matter no more, yada, yada. The Lord and grafted everybody in, you feel me? But guess what? Let's go to Revelations 13:9.
Right.
Go ahead, Papa.
The ones who say that don't pay attention to the new order book. Ain't nothing but lies. Trying to find a way out to justify the reason why they don't follow the Most High.
And that's why the Most High has to show mercy on our people, man, because we've been taught like that for so long. We've been taught to hate each other and hate the Most High and not keep His law, statutes, and commandments. You understand? Like, this is what that spell, that witchcraft that's been placed on us, that's what it's done for us, you understand? Right. The soothsayers, that they put that spirit on us, you understand? But the Most High, the brought His priests and prophets out here to break that. You feel me? And that's why we teach in these classes, you understand? This is why we go out on the streets, to the highways and the byways, man, and we raise our people up, you understand? This is what we do. You got that?
Come.
Go ahead.
Revelation chapter 13, verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. Verse 10.
If any man have an ear, let him hear. Like, if you have any understanding, understand this. You understand? Understand what the Most High about to say right now. You understand? Go ahead.
He that leadeth into captivity.
He that leadeth into captivity. Who led us into captivity?
White man.
The so-called white man. Our enemy, right? He led us into captivity. We can all agree on that. Keep going.
Shall go into captivity.
He shall go into captivity. There's no way around it. You understand? Though he lives high off the horse right now, you understand? The Most High is going to punish him. You understand? Keep going.
He that killeth with the sword.
He that killeth with the sword. Like, if you look at every kingdom around the earth that the white man is ruling right now, you feel me? He's taking all of those kingdoms by the sword. He's taking everything by bloodshed, by murder, by rape, by pillaging. You understand? This is what he's done. He that killeth with the sword, go ahead.
Must be killed with the sword.
Must be killed with the sword. You understand? This is how he has to die. That's not my words. That comes directly from the Bible. Keep going.
Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Who are the saints? The children of Israel. We are. You understand? This is the patience that we have. That we understand that if we come back to keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, the Most High is going to take them and put them in slavery. You understand? This is their fate. The Most High is going to kill them. I ain't got to kill them. As a nation, we don't got to fight them. We don't have to kill them. You understand? You go up there and you call yourself trying to be, go to war with the so-called white man. You're going to run out of bullets and he's going to bring a tank.
Right.
You understand? That's not how you fight. The way you fight is you fight spiritually. You stop sinning. You stop popping whores. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
You stop eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. You stop being a homosexual. You stop smoking. You stop selling dope to your people. You understand? This is how we fight spiritually. And once we begin to fight like that and we draw closer to the Most High is going to fulfill every prophecy in this book concerning the nation of Esau. You understand? And this is what we got to come back to. We got to come back to doing what the Most High told us to do, and not what the Christian church, by way of our oppressor, has told us to do. You understand? This is the patience and the faith of the saints. You feel me? So if you can take anything from what we spoke on tonight, you feel me? Take away from this, that we got to come out of Christianity. We got to come out of this world. You feel me? We got to come out of this beast. This philosophy that we got to love everybody, that everybody is our brother. You understand? We got to come back to actually loving our true brother, you feel me? And hating our enemy. Now the problem is a lot of people don't like the word hate, but when we say we hate the white man, does that mean that we want to go out there and do what he do when he hate? No. That's what people sadly mistake. Because when the oppressor hates, he goes out, he kills, he hangs people.
Right.
He burns people. You understand? You know, he passes laws to oppress people.
Right.
You know, he bring the National Guard in,
right,
and they shoot, rape, and rob. Look what's going on over the border right now. Like, people to stop talking about our Isupk brothers over there on the border that's over there being raped and robbed. You understand? The little kids over there that's getting separated from their mothers and fathers, you feel me? Drinking piss water, you feel me? Like, people forgot all about them. You understand? But we got to feel sorry for everybody else.
Right.
You understand? This is why the Most High say that our enemies have to fall. And the sooner we recognize that, the better off we will be. You understand? Our enemy is the so-called white man, the devil of the Bible. And with that, we're going to pass the class over to Priest and Officer 50, Uriah Allah, for a reading of the security announcement. Water, sir. Here are the Isupk security announcements. We are the Isupk out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or a sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or a sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Also, tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18:21 and Malachi 3:8-10. It means a tenth in Hebrew and pronounced Ma'asharah. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives, you give the treasury, you can give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for the priest, not mandatory. Whatever amount you would like to give. Upcoming Holy Convocation, we just like to add that the Passover is not canceled. We will have the Passover. Just make sure that you talk to your captain of your camp, and they will keep you updated as far as the Passover is concerned. Remember, Akim can check in on social media, such as the isupk.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on and so forth, Isupk events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he is to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirts, pants, headband, or a scarf. And with that, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher, Men of Israel, Mahdi Shabbat. Amani Barak. No, Amani Shabbat. Amani Barak. Yahaba Shem Yahshua Barakatah.
Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakatah.
Yazmatah. Class was dismissed.
Used to play the end song before you start screaming. I think he plays the end song.
I was gonna rip his heart out. I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Lynx is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody as ruthless. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me.
No affiliation, why they faking? This ain't for debating. We the real, they really imitation. I be contemplating why this ain't no like heavy rotation on radio stations. I just pray the Lord give me patience, cause I'm running through these rappers like my name Walter Payton. Shitting on these rappers, 9 to 5 is my occupation. Raw, you come in with your best troops, you best bring more. Already told you I got the juice like Lorenthal. Already know what I'm about to do, bet your men fall. Everyone know that we got the truth, all your men falls. So boss, overtaking our enemies. Moves calculated and orchestrated like symphonies. Smooth operator, been bringing haters to misery. Top 5 list ain't shit unless you mention me. Yeah, that's why we don't associate. Fuck niggas make them more fuck niggas. Why they procreate, why they overhate. Cause their time is short and a moment late. Let it culminate to they harder race and it palpitate. Cowards perpetrate like their little group is respectable. Talking intellectual, all of you homosexual.